Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and today I want to do something slightly different. Every now and again, filmmakers on YouTube or Facebook who do these videos, every now and again they share with you the equipment that they use when they're filming. Now, sometimes that's because somebody has got in touch and asked and wants to know because they're doing similar sort of stuff. And other times it's just, well, sometimes you get desperate for content, to be honest, and you think, I know, I'll tell people how I make the videos. It's always interesting, a little behind the scenes. And so that's what this video is about, because I've had a little problem that a number of people I'm sure also have when filming with a GoPro or a small action camera, or really any camera that you're filming basically with the auto exposure settings on. Now, I appreciate not everybody is going to follow all of this completely, and you may want to pass if you're not into the technical stuff, and I'll try not to be too technical in this video. So, what's the problem I'm trying to address? And how has it been solved? Actually, by one of the lovely viewers out there, one of my patrons who's supported the show for a while now and been incredibly generous. And this is really his bright idea. So I often film a lot of my walking videos, my walks and what have you, with a GoPro. These are these small action cameras that have been around for some time now, very popular. Most people know what a GoPro is. And they're very simple and easy to use. And half of the point is that you really don't have to get into all the mechanics on the lens side of focusing, changing the aperture and all of that. It does most of it for you because it's after some great action shots, and it's very clever what they can do. However, there is a bit of a drawback. I vlog some of my videos, as you'll know, and I'll put the GoPro on a little handle which I'll hold and film myself like thus. And you film yourself walking about through the countryside or whatever it is that you're doing, and you do the best that you can. And very often it works out very well. They're great cameras and the resolution is brilliant. But there is a thing with the auto exposure which can cause problems, and you'll see it in a lot of people's videos. Half the time perhaps you don't even notice it, but when you're more of a professional or a keen amateur, you'll be very aware of what's going on. And that is, you're filming yourself and the person suddenly seems to be plunged into darkness, as if a great shadow has gone over them. But the background seems to be perfectly fine, and you think, oh, why is that? I want to see the person. And if that goes on for any length of time, it can be very irritating. What is happening in these instances is the camera is lighting for the background, or the bit wherever the light is strongest. So if you've got the sun behind you, and now I go out filming all year round, and particularly in autumn we have a low sun, and a low sun often is going to be sometimes behind me. I can't always have it in the right place and have it in front of me, so sometimes it's actually behind me, which can be irritating. What the camera does is it sees this bright light, or if it's a diffused sky where you've got lots of sky, that bright light will, the camera will see that and it will shut down to try and expose it correctly. As a result of doing that, instead of exposing the correct exposure for the subject, which often is myself or Julia or whoever happens to be in my videos, it means that we go into silhouette. We become very dark, and it's very frustrating. Now, it's quite forgivable really on a YouTube video if it's just once or twice and it's a short duration. But recently I have done this and I found quite a lengthy part of the video I'm suddenly in the dark because I was unaware of the big sky behind me. What you can't do, you see, with a GoPro is, although it has a screen, the screen is behind it. It hasn't got a flip up screen so that you could see yourself and go, oh, I'm in silhouette. So clearly we need to correct that. Now, I believe that the GoPro 8 is coming with a flip up screen, which will be fantastic. But even so, that's quite small. So that's okay if you're holding it a short distance from you, but if you're holding it any longer or you've set it up and you want to check the shot to see how you are, a bigger screen would be good. Obviously you don't want anything too big because it's going to become cumbersome to carry. The great thing about the new GoPros, GoPro 7 and GoPro 8 onwards, is that they've got the stabilization built in. This is fantastic because in the past, this is actually a GoPro 6 that I'm holding up, but in the past I used to use a gimbal, which was a piece of technology which enabled the camera to stay perfectly still and float, as it were, in your hand, so that you'd have a nice stabilized picture. But the GoPros have been very clever and they have now built the stabilization into digitally into the picture. So even though you might have a bit of wobble, the camera actually can work that out and eliminate it. Very, very clever what they do. I had a phone call from one of my lovely viewers who said, Richard, what if you had a small monitor that could connect to the GoPro? And I thought, well, yeah, that would be great. Only I don't think you can because there is no hot shoe or any way to connect a monitor to it. And I've just got it on a stick. But there is a monitor on the market which will connect to a GoPro. Well, I've used the box that I put the GoPro in with the hot shoe. And now on top of this, I have this nifty 5-inch monitor which sits on the top. Let me turn this on and show you what happens. If I turn the GoPro on, first of all, you get the normal GoPro bleep. And if I turn the monitor on as well, we should see it come to life. There we go. And it just thinks for a moment. It tells me that it's a GoPro. It's connected on an HDMI lead. So the HDMI lead's coming out of the GoPro and coming into the monitor. And then here, I've got the picture. So you're probably now being able to see the camera. I can't see that until I turn it round. But the great thing is, from my point of view, is I can now see myself in the monitor. And I can also see if the shot is well lit or if the camera is exposed for the wrong thing. And if it is exposed for the wrong thing, if there's all this great big sky and everything and I don't want that, I can turn myself away from that to get to the best vantage so that I know all the time that I'm going to be better exposed and not go into silhouette. Now, of course, the monitor is sitting on top of the GoPro, and one of the things that you'll see many people make the mistake of is they start to look at themselves in the monitor. Even with a flip out screen on a camera, it's very easy to start looking at the flip out screen to see the feedback of yourself, and that's also what you can do. And if I do that with the GoPro and look at that, I'll end up looking up here instead of looking down the lens. So that's just something to bear in mind. This particular monitor has a sun shield here, which is just on Velcro, and it can come off. So you can see the telly on its own, or the little monitor on its own. And this one can flip round, which is useful, or you can spin it round so you can use it if you want to film the other side. Although I can actually still use the little screen on the back of the GoPro. So it's a useful thing. I haven't as yet used it in earnest on an actual video. I only got it the other day, but I wanted to share this with you because I get embarrassed when sometimes the footage isn't right and it looks like I've cocked up by filming something in silhouette. You could see when I'm at the edit suite, I'm pulling out my, well, I haven't got any hair to pull out, but you know, I'm getting for how can I get round this because the picture is dark. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. The product, this particular, I mean, there's lots of them on the market, so I'm not necessarily trying to influence whichever it is, but this one is something called the SDD or something, ESDDI, don't know how you pronounce that, an F5 4K 5-inch on-camera monitor, big production value for camera setups, it says. I'll put a link in the description. It's chargeable, the camera, so that's the main thing. Rechargeable battery on the back, very easy to turn off and on. Thank you so much for watching. Something a little bit different this time, but hopefully useful to other filmmakers out there who've tuned in. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. Become a patron, support what I do. Big thanks to Jeff for making this happen and be possible. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time somewhere, either out and about or another little interesting feature. Till then, bye-bye.